Hello, this is Reginald Andre, cyber expert, and we are on day 20 of 31 days of going live celebrating National Cybersecurity Month. And today's topic, we are talking about Barnes& and Nobles and how they had recently got hacked and now are being threatened by ransomware hackers that they're going to be releasing information about their customers if they don't pay the ransom. So before I start, if you haven't liked and subscribed to our page, please go ahead and do that. For the whole month of October, I'll be going live and talking about cybersecurity news and how to protect your business. So Barnes & Nobles, which is, of course, the bookstore, they have retail locations and their popular Nook, which is kind of like a tablet, but specifically to read the books. They, about 5 days ago, they had announced that they had gotten compromised. And a lot of people were actually talking about their Nook services. They weren't able to download books. They weren't able to do certain things on the website. So Barnes & Noble, 5 days ago, they had gotten hacked and they had some information apparently stolen. So they warned their customers that there was some information that was stolen. However, they did say that their credit card information was not stolen. So if you use Barnes & Noble and you paid by credit card, that information was not stolen because that's actually encrypted. So it would be nearly impossible for the bad guys to get that information. However, information such as your name, your purchase history, your phone number, your email address, personal PII, which is called personally identifiable information, there was a high chance that got stolen. So today, a group of ransomware hackers published in their websites, which is all in the dark web, that they started to release some of the Barnes & Noble's customer database that they were able to steal. So what does this have to do with cybersecurity in your business? This has everything to do with it because you can see now what's happening behind the scenes. And what I'm about to say is not necessarily what is happening with the Barnes & Nobles specifically, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to guess what's happening. Barnes & Nobles got hacked. Their customers' data got stolen. These group of bad guys said, pay us a lot of money, pay us millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars, and we will go ahead and act like this didn't happen, and we're not going to expose your customer database. Barnes & Nobles, which is actually doing the right thing and not paying the ransomware, because when you pay the ransomware, the only thing that really happens is the bad guys gets more, they are wanting to then do it more. Because if you pay the ransomware, they then say, great, this was a great job, this was a great heist, let's go to another corporate client and do it. Let's go to another small business and do it. So it seems like Barnes & Nobles is saying, we're not going to pay the ransomware. And now the bad guys, without really getting money from Barnes & Nobles, there's really nothing else they can do with that data. They want the money from Barnes & Nobles. So it seems like Barnes & Nobles is saying, nope, we're not going to pay this ransomware. So now what the bad guys are doing is they're starting to leak this information to put pressure on Barnes & Nobles in hopes that once they see that, hey, we do have your client's information, this is going to look bad because if we leak your client's information, there could be a class action lawsuit against you. There could be clients that say, I'm never going to shop at Barnes & Nobles again. And as we all know, Barnes & Nobles is not doing good right now. Amazon is doing a lot of kicking butt to them. So they don't want any reason for any clients not to do business with them again. So this is something that is real and it's happening right now. And this is why you need cybersecurity. And not to say that Barnes & Nobles doesn't have a cybersecurity budget, but if Barnes & Nobles can get hacked and you can see what this is happening to them, just imagine your business. Barnes & Nobles, at the end of the day, they're going to be all right. They're going to still have customers coming to them because they have a brand, they have loyal customers. But imagine your business. If you got hacked where your client list, where your sensitive data was then sold to the lowest bidder, could you recover from that? How much is that worth to you? Statistics show that 67% 67% of small businesses, and obviously Barnes & Nobles is not a small business, but 67% of small businesses, after they get hacked, go out of business within the next 5 years, because that's how bad the publicity, the trust that they lost with their customers, the information that may not have been able to be recovered. That's how bad it is. So this is why you have to take cybersecurity so serious. In addition to that, there are things that you can put in place, because sometimes, in this case, Barnes & Nobles, it was pretty obvious that they got hacked. But believe it or not, most cyber attacks do not go publish. A lot of companies, small businesses, when they get cyber attacked, they tell everybody, shh. If somebody finds out that we got cyber attacked, if our customers found out, if the government found out, if vendors found out, we will be in trouble. Don't tell anybody that we got hacked. So how do you make sure that your business is protected? The first thing you're going to want to do is encourage your employees, or even purchase for your key employees, credit monitoring. Now, credit monitoring has everything to do with social security numbers, has everything to do with your address and things like that. And this may be something that you have to do for your key employees. If you're a business where maybe in finance, in construction, something where you can't have a key employee having bad credit, or having a situation where if they're in order to do a finance deal, the background check is needed, a credit check is needed, and when a credit check is needed, now they're having to explain, hey, my information got stolen, my social security got stolen, that's why this particular key employee has this mark on their credit score. You don't want to risk that. So by having a credit monitoring, which will essentially alert the user if there is a social security number being used, or alert them if their name is being applied for something. Because again, sometimes you have key employees, or even your CEO that personally guarantees things, his credit needs to be clean. Another thing that you're going to want to do is what is called dark web monitoring. And with dark web monitoring, you can put an email address on file, and if this email address is being sold on the dark web, and the dark web is and I'll be doing a video about dark web, but a dark web in simplest forms is a place where hackers buy and sell information. So in this case, the Barnes & Noble information, right now that's being sold in the dark web. So let's just say you have, Scott at GIS.com, and that information, and let's just say his LinkedIn got hacked, or his Barnes & Noble account got hacked. Now, because that information is being sold on the dark web, if that Scott at GIS.com is shown on the dark web, it's actually going to let you know, hey, we have a problem. Scott's email is out there in the dark web, and we need to change passwords, and we need to add some extra protection, so that way Scott knows that his information is out there. Maybe there's a password that he's used on several different websites that needs to be changed. So there's so much different things. So cybersecurity is so important. And again, even if you have the best setup in your office, unfortunately, other businesses are being attacked, and it will trickle down to you, because in this case, Barnes & Nobles, you can actually Google it right now, and you will find screenshots of their client list, people in New York, Texas, Florida, and they're showing what they purchased, which that could even be a threat, because maybe you have a high executive that's buying a book, that's a private book, that's nobody else's business, that's a personal literature, if you want to call it that, and they're buying it from Barnes & Nobles, and now that information is out there. Because what you can do is, once that information is in the dark web, or even out on the internet, if you Google that person's name, and now the findings of this hack is shown, and it shows that, oh, CEO Scott is buying these type of books at Barnes & Nobles, that's an egg in his face, and an egg in the company's face, and it's just unnecessary exposure that you don't need. So we'll be seeing you tomorrow. We're going to actually be interviewing Jay Hansel of Advanced Printer Company. And in his company, he deals with copiers and printers. And he's going to be talking about how to make sure that your printers and copiers are safe from cyber attack, because believe it or not, there are ways that hackers can actually get into your printers and your copiers. And think of all that sensitive information, those spreadsheets, those payroll reports that you're printing in your copier. And those little copiers have something called hard drives in them, and they have storage in there. And there's a lot of other information that if it gets in the wrong hands, all that information is going to the bad guys. So tomorrow, I believe it's at 2, but I'll put a link and I'll put the time, or 2 or 2:30 for tomorrow. We'll be going live with him right here on Facebook Live, and be sure to watch that to learn how your copier and your printer are susceptible to hackers, and how to make sure that it doesn't get hacked, and what you have to do for that. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.